I might get hate for this, but I always get what I want. Every job that I ever wanted, got it, and even without a degree. Every man that I wanted, got him. And now my own business at 23, built it from nothing. And before you say must be nice or you're so lucky, let me tell you about a girl who overdosed when she was 19 years old. The one who sat in court as a rape victim at 16, and the one who almost got killed by her mother when she was 8 years old. Well, that girl, she still gets everything that she wants. And I'm about to tell you exactly why. But first, I need you to understand where I'm coming from. Because when I say I always get what I want, I'm not talking about manifestation hacks or repeating the same affirmations over and over again in the mirror. I'm talking about something that was forged through chaos. I was a happy kid with massive dreams. And then my mom started using drugs and everything changed because of that. By the time I was 8, I almost got killed by her. I never got to learn what love looked like. I learned what survival looked like. I got bullied at school, surrounded by troubled kids, met the wrong people, met the wrong lovers. By 16, I sat in courtroom to fight against rapists. And because of that, I never finished school. I dropped out of school when I was 16 years old and immediately got into sales. By my late teens, I worked 3 jobs. So sales during the day, I even worked in nightclubs, and on my days off, I worked for events. And a lot of people called me ambitious, but honestly, I was just running away from myself. And when you're running that hard, you crash. I fell into a bad drug addiction. I lost some of my jobs. I lost my position that I had. My bank account hit 0. And yeah, then I overdosed. That happened in 2021. It's a year that I will never forget, but I survived and I just knew that I survived for a reason. So after that, I left for a year. I went back to work for a couple of times, and with a little amount of money, I traveled many countries on my own, solo travels. I slept in hostel beds. I lived day by day, only a few euros a day, but I made it work because most of people would say, I want to travel, but I don't have money for it. But I believe that if you truly want something, everything is possible. Even though I had to live a wanderer, or how do you call it, a nomad, I did not care because I wanted to travel so bad, so I just did it. And now at 23, I run my own business. I made my first online income. I built something online that lets me live on my own terms. And I got here without a degree. Even my parents, everyone is still asking me, are you not going back to school? Even when I was young, when I left school, they always told me that I was going to end up as my mother, that I would never get somewhere. But here I am. I did all of this without connections and without asking for permission. So when I tell you that I always get what I want you to understand that it's not life that handed me anything. It's because I learned something that most people never figure out. And that something, it comes down to 5 psychology shifts that changed everything. And these are not pretty Instagram quotes. These are raw, uncomfortable truths about what it actually takes to become someone that actually gets what they want. So here we go, shift 1. I stopped asking for permission. Most people wait to be chosen. Most people wait to have someone that taps on their shoulder and says, you're ready now. Well, I never got that tap. No one was coming to save me. No one was there to hand me over a degree, a job offer, or a better life. So I stopped waiting. Actually, I never waited. The moment when I dropped out of school, I started searching for my first job. I was 16 years old, so it's allowed for students to work. So I went to a few places like coffee shops, lunch spots, supermarkets, and I handed them over my CV. And somehow I never got answer on all of them. But then there was this moment that I ran into recruiters from this sales company and I applied myself for that. But I was so young, I was the most shy girl that existed on the world. So when I was there, I almost didn't say anything, and there were 3 rounds. And the last one was doing the elevator pitch, and you probably can imagine I did not make it. So I failed, I went back home, and I felt a bit sad of that. But only 2 weeks later, I ran into them again, other people of course, but I told them that they didn't want me, and they just asked me, yeah, why don't you try again? And I don't know where I got the balls from, but I did it. So I kept training myself, I kept preparing myself, and when I showed up, the same person who did the application saw me and he was like, wow, like you're 16 years old and you came back again. And that was a moment when he just knew like, okay, we're going to take her. It was a long process, of course. It took some time, but actually it didn't take a lot of time. I grew very fast, and at one moment, only a few months after, they asked me to get a leadership position. All because I showed up like I already belonged there. And they just gave it to me. Just imagine that I never came back for the second time. All of that wouldn't happen. And I don't even know where I would be right now if I never did that. And here's what nobody tells you. The world doesn't give you what you deserve. It gives you what you claim. So stop asking, can I? And start moving like you already have it. Shift number 2, I made peace with becoming the villain. The healed version of me is meaner, and I mean that. When I was people pleasing, when I said yes to everything, when I tolerated disrespect, I had nothing. The moment when I started to set boundaries, when I walked away from people who didn't serve me anymore, the moment when I decided to stop shrinking myself to make other people comfortable, people started to call me difficult. People started to feel intimidated. They called me too much. Good, because difficult people don't get walked over. And I would rather be too much than not enough. And some people won't support you simply because they're scared of what you're becoming. They're afraid that you will become only one thing that they never had the courage for to pursue. Well, let them be scared and give them a show. Because your comfort zone with people is keeping you broke. It's keeping you small, it's keeping you stuck. I cut everyone off that loved me but didn't believe in me. And suddenly I had room for people who did. Shift number 3, I stopped identifying myself as the broken one. This might be the most important shift. Because for years I wore my trauma as an identity. I'm the girl with the drug addicted mom, I am the victim, I am the girl who got abused, I'm the survivor. And even though all of these things were true, it was also keeping me stuck. And here is the hard truth, your trauma stopped being an excuse the moment when you became aware of it. Once you know your triggers, your patterns, and your wounds, staying stuck is a choice. I decided to use my trauma as a training ground, not a prison sentence. Everything that I have survived, it gave me skills that most people don't have. Reading people, staying calm in chaos, knowing how to survive when everything falls apart. I weaponized my pain instead of letting it weaponize me. Shift number 4, I became unattached to the outcome. This is a paradox no one talks about. The more desperately you want something, the more it runs away from you. Because desperation is an energy that everyone can feel. It's in your voice, it's in your body language, and it's in your decisions. When I went into job interviews, I didn't beg. I was deciding if they were good enough for me. And till the day until like now, I still believe that most of the clients that I freelance for in hospitality and event management, they still don't know that I didn't have a degree at all. And when I was dating, I wasn't chasing, I was choosing. I just had this crazy delusional belief that I could get anything and anyone I wanted. When I was building my business, I wasn't hoping, I was building. The energy of I want this, but I will be fine without it is magnetic. Because it tells the world that you have options, and people that have options, they get more options. So start acting like you already have what you want and watch how fast it comes to you. At shift number 5, I decided that I was allowed to win. This sounds simple, but it's the foundation of everything. Because most people don't actually believe that they're allowed to get what they want. They think success is for other people, they think love is for other people, that happiness is for other people. And look at me, I came from nothing. I had every excuse to stay small. But at some point I decided that my past didn't get to dictate my entire future. I simply decided that I was allowed to get everything that I wanted as a kid. I decided that the happy girl with massive dream was allowed to exist and that she deserves to exist. And that's not manifestation. It's also not a vision board. It's simply a decision. The decision to stop apologizing for wanting more. The decision to stop dimming your own light to make other people comfortable. The decision to finally fully claim what's yours. So here's what I want you to take from this. I'm not special. I wasn't born lucky. I didn't have the connections or the safety nets or any advantage that you don't have. What I have is a refusal to settle, a refusal to stay small, a refusal to let my circumstances define my destination. And if the girl who overdosed, the one who sat in court, the one who almost got killed, the one who had no one or anything, if she can get everything that she wants, what's your excuse? So stop waiting for permission. Stop identifying yourself as the broken one. Stop begging and start claiming. If this video found you, it's a sign that you're ready to step out of your comfort zone. You are ready to become the version of yourself that doesn't ask for things anymore. You're the version that just takes it. So if this resonated with you, stick around and thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.